without a doubt, get the National League Cy Young Award. He was just incredible. The Braves played so flat in that game. And by the way, Dodger pitching yesterday. How about this? 14 strikeouts for the Atlanta Braves,
Big
Jeff.
deal. It's one game.
Well, it's one game, but here's the thing, though. The gig is the Braves lost their home field advantage. They know right now they're playing, and the game is tied at 1. You're watching it. I'm watching it. Braves have to win. You do not want to go back to Dodger Stadium and play in a hostile environment in L.A. because the Dodgers, that place goes crazy come playoff time. Dodger Stadium does.
How do you know? When was the last time the Dodgers had a playoff game there?
Last time the Dodgers had a playoff game was in 2009, I believe it was. Yeah, 2009.
That place will be okay. It's the best. It's best 3 out of 5, correct?
Mm-hmm. This is the best of 5.
Right. So the team who wins 3 games first wins, right?
Right.
So really, basically, you're in it sitting in. If the Braves win today, they're going home. Most likely that they're going to split at home and have to go back to Atlanta.
Yeah.
And I see the same thing happening in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, and the Pirates know very well that they have to do what they need to do. They got the split.
I don't see the Pirates winning 3 in a row. Which meant today's game, Sunday's game, and Monday's game. I don't see them winning 3 in a row.
You know, Wes, you just hit it right there, buddy. The Braves are playing scared. And, here's the thing with the Braves, okay? Every time they get to the playoffs, something always goes wrong for the Atlanta Braves. It just seems like they just can't get the big wins in the playoffs. I've seen this, even in the Bobby Cox era.
I know, but this is not the Atlanta Braves. Bobby Cox ain't there. Chipper Jones ain't there.
No.
This is not the Atlanta Braves.
It's a new Braves team. It's a new era.
And they don't have a lot of playoff experience.
No, they got B.J. Upton, who played on some Tampa Bay Rays teams, that made it, and Justin Upton.
And they left Ugla off the roster.
Yep.
So they don't have a lot of playoff experience. For me, it doesn't really matter. I picked the Dodgers to go to the World Series, so I'm hoping the Dodgers win it, but I'm a Braves fan. Okay, so I'm torn here. To me, it doesn't really matter. Who did I pick? The Dodgers and the Lions. The Dodgers and the Tigers in the World Series.
Yeah, in the picks on April 1st, the show we did, you picked L.A. to represent the National League, and you picked Detroit to represent the American League. Now, that series will be starting tonight, by the way, between the Detroit Tigers and the Oakland Athletics. And as you all know, this is a rematch of last year's American League Divisional Series. The Detroit Tigers won that series in 5 games where Justin Verlander pitched an outstanding game.
He's not starting tonight, though.
No, he will be starting Game 2 tomorrow night in Oakland.
How crazy
Tonight will be
is
Max
that?
Scherzer.
Yeah. Did you ever think that Max Scherzer would be starting before Verlander in the playoffs?
He's been incredible and dominant all year for that team.
I would have never expected that to happen, but he had a great year.
And to answer your question, no, I would not have expected it either. And for Oakland, it'll be Bartolo Colon going on the mound.
Yes.
That place will be rocking too in California. The A's, they're going to be sold out. And speaking of which, the Oakland A's, of course, know that they're going to have to get everything worked out, especially with the Raiders playing at home. It's just it's amazing how the whole format goes.
Okay, this is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the Oakland A's are playing Sunday. Okay.
Saturday.
Oh, they're playing Saturday. No, and they're playing Sunday, aren't they?
Nope, I'm looking at it right now. They're playing tomorrow, actually.
They're playing today and tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
So why are the San Diego Chargers and the Oakland Raiders playing their football game at 8:30 at night, Pacific Standard Time?
Answer your question, Jeff, it is because they want to make sure that they can give the grounds crew plenty of time to add in the extra seats. And I have to tell you, I think that the Oakland A's need a separate stadium and the Raiders need a separate stadium. Think about how hard it is to have two teams play. Yeah,
I know, but there's no game being played Sunday. So you're going to tell me it's going to take them longer than 24 hours to get that stadium set for a football game?
Yep, that's what they were saying on ESPN when I read that, and I was actually glad to go over that as a topic for the show today.
That's ridiculous.
It is.
That's ridiculous. You know what? You know something? If the Chargers were smart, they'd switch it. Have Oakland come down to play San Diego this time, and then next time have San Diego go up to Oakland. They play each other twice a year anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So just switch the freaking games. Make this the home game for San Diego and the other game. You know what I mean? What's the problem, you jackasses? Why do I got to figure everything out? Atlanta just took the lead over the Dodgers 2-1.
Yeah, and by the way, here's the news from that game. The Raiders-Chargers game will be on the NFL Network at 11:35 p.m. Eastern, which is 8:35 p.m. Pacific.
Yeah, but it's going to for the people who live in San Diego, it's going to be on CBS at 8:30 at night. So I'll get to watch it Sunday night at 8:30.
It is so odd.
After I get to watch the Sunday night football game.
Yeah.
Right? Sure.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you'll get to see the game, but you'll get to see the Sunday night football game on NBC.
That's right. It'll be Houston playing San Francisco.
So actually, the last game on Sunday is the San Diego Chargers and the Oakland Raiders starting at 11:30 Eastern Time. Are you kidding me?
It sure is crazy. When I saw that, I said Jeff will shake his head when we go over that and discuss it, because it doesn't make sense.
That's the stupidest thing in the world. They play each other twice. The easy fix to the whole thing, Roger Goodell, who's supposed to be the best commissioner of all, the easy fix would have been, well, you guys play each other twice. Instead, let's switch this. Instead of San Diego going up to Oakland and having to deal with all this crap, let's have Oakland come down to San Diego and they'll play the home game in San Diego. And then when the next game comes around where it's supposed to be, they'll go up to Oakland. What's the problem? Because the next game, there's no baseball going on.
Well, at work, that's what my boss was saying, how stupid it is that they're going to have to change everything, and how the groundskeepers and all the people who work at Network Associates Coliseum in Oakland has to change everything.
They got to change it from baseball to football, and then they got to change it back from football to baseball.
Just in case if there's a fifth game, though.
Correct, but they still got to change it just in case.
Yeah.
They're not going to wait. They're going to change it back. So, hey, I got an idea. Instead of having them to change it at all, instead of Oakland hosting the game, let San Diego host the game, and then the next game, let Oakland host it. What's the problem with that?
It sure is crazy. And then everybody will be staying up watching it, and then we'll realize, we got to get up and go for work. How stupid is it with the NFL for doing that?
That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard in the world, because it's a Sunday night game.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like the game is on Saturday night where people can rest on Sunday. No. You think people on the East Coast who don't give a flying fig about the Chargers and the Raiders to begin with are going to go to their NFL Network channel and watch that game?
Oh, boy. I wonder what we would say to Roger Goodell.
You want to know something?
Right now.
The only people that are going to watch that game are going to be the people in San Diego and the people in Oakland. And that's it. Jackasses. Hey, on that note, let's go to an update. This update is brought to you by BuyHuntingEquipment.com for all your camping, fishing, hiking gear, and outdoor gear, climbing gear, whatever you need. Head on over to BuyHuntingEquipment.com. That's BuyHuntingEquipment.com. Take it away, Sean Mann, with the only update of the day.
Thank you, Jeff. And we have reached the bottom of the hour, which makes it 7:31 p.m. on the East Coast, which makes it 4:31 p.m. on the West. It is Friday, October 4th, 2013. We're going to start in the NFL. As you all know, tomorrow our NFL Real Talk show is tomorrow, where we will be giving out our Week 5 picks. We already have one game already complete, and that game goes to the Cleveland Browns. They prevailed by a score of 37-24 last night. They had the game tied at 24, but then the Browns scored 13 unanswered points. They take the game, and now they are in first place in their division. More NFL action will continue this weekend, but I don't want to get into it until tomorrow night's update because that's when our show is. As we move into Major League Baseball, we got some headlines to get to. We know the MLB playoffs are going on right now. Alex Rodriguez is suing Major League Baseball, Bud Selig, the Yankees doctor, and the hospital, as it'll be a long process, especially for a guy who will be serving a 211-game suspension. It's supposed to get bigger and bigger as the months go on. Speaking of the New York Yankees, they are waiting to hear from Joe Girardi. There is no indication yet if he will return as manager of the New York Yankees for the 2014 Major League Baseball season. Another team that has expressed a lot of interest in him would be the Chicago Cubs. Theo Epstein says, I'm very interested in acquiring and making Joe Girardi the next manager. Remember, the Cubs did fire Dale Swaim as their manager. There's also rumors coming around that Dusty Baker, I believe he is actually out as manager of the Cincinnati Reds. I don't have an official confirmation about that, however, and I will let everybody know. Actually, Dusty Baker has been fired as manager of the Cincinnati Reds after the elimination game against Pittsburgh. So he will be either looking for another MLB managerial job or he will be moving on as a baseball analyst. Now let's get into the playoffs. As everybody knows, we've got a lot of action going on right now. The game in progress. It is the top half of the fifth inning. The Atlanta Braves, they lead the LA Dodgers by a score of 2-1. In this series, Atlanta leads this. They are actually trailing 1-0. Last night, Clayton Kershaw had a big game. He struck out 12. And actually, it was a total of 14, but Kershaw got a lot of the strikeouts. He struck out 12. The Dodgers lead the series 1-0. Situation goes like this. Dodgers win. They go up 2-0, with the series shifting to Los Angeles for games 3 and 4. If Atlanta wins, it is a split with going back to LA, which means that possibly there'd be a fifth game in Atlanta. Time will tell what happens. A series that is tied at 1, that would be the Pittsburgh Pirates. They prevailed by a score of 7-1 against the St. Louis Cardinals this afternoon, where the game was seen on the MLB network, which has a lot of us shaking our heads because we were expecting that they could play maybe games on TNT or TBS. The Pirates knew very well that if they didn't get the win, they would be down 0-2. Now the series is tied up at 1 game apiece, with games 3 and 4 back in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. It'll be Sunday afternoon, 4:37 p.m. Eastern Time, which is 1:37 p.m. Pacific Time, as the Pirates will be hosting the game in what will be a loud playoff atmosphere. In the American League Divisional Series, the Boston Red Sox, who had not made the playoffs since 2009, had a 4-year drought, hadn't won a playoff game since October of 2008. I believe it was October 18th, 2008, are now back in the playoffs. They blew out the Tampa Bay Rays by a score of 12-2. The big inning was a 5-run fourth inning, and then the Red Sox never looked back, as now they take a 1-0 lead. Game 2 of this series will be tomorrow afternoon in Fenway Park, where the Red Sox will look to go up 2-0. A late game tonight in Oakland. The Detroit Tigers at the Oakland Athletics. As you all recall, last year, the Detroit Tigers beat Oakland in 5 games. This year, it's a new series. Oakland will have the home field advantage. It will not be Detroit. With the Tigers playing tonight, they will have Max Scherzer on the mound going up against Bartolo Colon. This game will be starting at 9:37 p.m. Eastern Time, which will be 6:37 p.m. Pacific Time. So those are all the games that are going on in Major League Baseball. We move into the National Hockey League. First period, 8:38 left to go. The Ottawa Senators at the Buffalo Sabres. Right now, that's a 0-0 tie. The New York Islanders at the New Jersey Devils with 6:56 remaining. That game is tied up at 1. The Carolina Hurricanes lead the Detroit Red Wings by a score of 1-0. 4 minutes left to go in the first period. The Flames are at the Columbus Blue Jackets. 2-1 Flames, 8 minutes and 55 seconds left in the first period.